Every lake and river has a resident population of hippos. They too are social creatures, but they are also territorial. Spy Hippo is going where few others dare to go. He needs to be cautious. His subjects are notoriously bad-tempered, and they could be anywhere. It's never a good idea to get on their wrong side. Spy Hippo has been given a warning. He must avoid sudden movements. As he gets closer, ear wiggling shows confidence. Facing one of Africa's most dangerous animals, Spy Hippo must hold his ground. The pod is made up of females, looked over by a single male. Fortunately, females are less aggressive. Spy Hippo is already capturing some of the closest views that have ever been seen. But hippos spend much of their time below the surface. As the hippos dive, so must Spy Hippo. He mimics their movements. Rather than swim, hippos walk underwater. Through the murk, Spy Hippo glimpses an extraordinary sight. Fish are shadowing the hippo's every move. These are barbs. They usually feed on the riverbed, but when the hippos appear, they shoal around them. As Spy Hippo moves closer, it's clear that their skin is a maze of cuts and scratches. These fight marks easily become infected, and parasites can also invade. This is where the fish come in. Together, they set up an underwater clinic with the hippos as willing patients. The barbs may be skin specialists, but they'll try a bit of dental hygiene too. After having a full body treatment, the hippos seem to enter a trance.
But nothing goes to waste. The death of a hippo provides a meal for the river's most fearsome and efficient predators, the Nile crocodile. Growing up to 5 meters in length, these crocodiles hunt and scavenge.
That is a lot of crocs.
Sure.
A hippo carcass just down the river from the studio is instantly set upon by these voracious reptiles.
This is about 100 meters in front of us, a classic Luangwa scene. A dead hippo in the water and about 30 crocodiles. What's amazing is that there are 2 or 3 hippos that are coming in and actually trying to force the crocodiles off the carcass. Obviously, Mum will be one of them. There seems to be a whole gang that are trying to force the crocs off while they tear this thing to pieces. So it's pretty primeval, the whole thing.
Hippos and crocodiles normally coexist peacefully, but crocs will take every opportunity to prey on a weak animal or scavenge a dead one.
We've seen 1 or 2 of these hippos doing these big yawning displays, which is really a threat to the crocodiles. They're trying to drive the crocodiles off with this big yawn and, you know, sharp teeth and everything, but the crocs obviously are not intimidated by that at all. And the crocs are here in numbers, so that, you know, the hippos have got no chance really of driving them off.
Alison Leslie is one of the foremost authorities on Nile crocodiles. She explains to one of the film crew the unique manner in which the crocs feed.
If it's a bony chunk, they will literally just crush 2,000 pounds per square inch. They will just crush everything until it's in a sort of a soft enough condition that they can just swallow. And if it's a chunk of, say, for example, skin or innards, they just fill their mouth and shake and shake and shake until this food literally slides down their throat. There's some sort of hierarchy there. They rely on each other to actually grab onto either end of a piece of prey, and then they rotate in opposite directions. So although to us it looks like this mad frenzy and splashing and going on, there's actually a really controlled sort of system in place there, amazingly so. Everybody's concentrated in areas. The hippos are dying off, you know, slowly but surely, and these cleaning machines have come in just to, you know, keep the system freshened up.
Crocodiles are opportunists. They feed on fish in the river, and at this time of year will make the most of any dying or dead hippos. But they will also take advantage of any animal coming to the river to drink.
With that sort of number of crocs in an area, obviously if there's an impala on the bank, there's going to be a number of crocs going for that animal. If we don't get rain, I think there's going to be a bit of an uproar in some of these areas.
So for the thirsty animals, this croc-infested river is as dangerous as it is necessary.
In only a few months' time, the water here will cease to flow. 8,000 square kilometers of swamp will dry and disappear. And all the hippos of the Okavango will face real hardship. Water is the hippo's sanctuary. It keeps them cool in the baking heat and provides the vegetation on which they depend. And safety away from predators. But with all of this slowly evaporating, everyone will need to be prepared. The calf is now several weeks old and has built up his strength. It's time for him to meet the family. Returning to the pod with a new baby is inevitably risky. A mother has to re-establish that she's a member of the pod. And in the excitement, a clumsy adult could crush her calf. The dominant bull was right in her path. If she stands her ground with him, half her battle could be won. But the real problem comes from an unexpected place. Her previous calf is showing an unhealthy interest. She's battle-scarred and appears to have a quarrelsome nature. Jealousy or curiosity? Whichever it is, it's dangerous. Her calf is far too young to be pushed around like this. He's frightened and stays close to his mother. This has turned into an attack, and the mother must put a stop to it. The pair remain on the periphery of the pod. But the rest of the family can still hear them. Hippos are thought to be the closest living relatives of whales. And they too make most of their vocalizations underwater. Their head and jawbones capture vibrations and transmit them directly into the ear. Vibrations become sound. And in these quiet waters, these can carry up to a mile. The heat is overwhelming. Hippos can't sweat, but they do secrete a thick, oily, reddish fluid. This acts as a sunscreen and helps protect against infection. But he still needs to drink. Waterholes are dangerous traps for thirsty animals. This one is staked out by lions. They're practiced giant killers. Together, they can take down an elephant. Dying of thirst, but he stands firm. hippo can hold his ground if he needs to. And he forces the lions to allow him a share. Finally, he gets his much-needed drink. Relief is on its way. In the distance, a flood is creeping slowly closer. It travels along the hippo's dry paths. So, once again, the hippos have determined the course of the river's channels. The face of the Okavango changes once again, and all that the hippos had lost will soon return. Their resilience, determination, and adaptability have carried them through the toughest of times. Water once more flows along the veins of the delta, and life soon reappears. As the land recovers and the floodwaters peak, the channels created by the hippos carry the water to its furthest limits. It's they who perpetuate the watery wonderland of the Okavango. Everything and everyone that lives here owe their presence to the hippos. Africa's river giants. The intimidation begins. When neither backs down, there can only be one outcome. Fights can go on for hours and can be to the death. Forward-pointing tusks can stab right through protected blubber. savage bite to the head brings the contest to an end. The incumbent has re-established his right to mate with the females, and he wastes no time. This is a prime territory, and he will face many more challenges if he is to continue to hold it. It's the dry season in Zambia. The lagoons are either baked dry or the mud is so thick animals get stuck, with fatal consequences. This male hippo has been living in one small lagoon, but as it dries, it's turning into a death trap. Understandably, the females that once shared it with him have all left. Even if he wants to, he can't stay much longer. He needs water to keep cool, and females to mate with. And this is where they all are. Almost all the hippos in the area are now in what is left of the Luangwa River, because it's the last place where there's still deep water. This bend is controlled by an all-powerful male. Since the drought, many more females have joined his herd. They are happy to live cheek by jowl, but any male who comes here in the hope of mating must first defeat the overlord. The wandering male arrives and has a decision to make: submit or fight. Victory for the overlord. His domination of his channel in the river remains, and with it, mating rights with the females. The loser is alive, but is an outcast. He retreats to another part of the river where it's so shallow that no females will follow. His chance to father offspring is over for now. Most of the water has now gone. The channels carry little more than trickles compared with what once flowed here. Only the tracks of the departing hippos remain. Their paths, now dry, still link the last remaining pools. And the grasses they depend on will soon wither and die. Most hippos have headed north, following their all-important water. some are still in search of a refuge. Only a few pools in the area are still big enough to hold a hippo pod. And many pods are forced to share. Large groups of up to 200 hippos crowd together in the last of the water. The pressure is mounting. And new arrivals just stir things up. The shrinking pools have also trapped fish, and they attract fishermen. Pelicans arrive in their thousands. This number of birds could clean out a pool in just a few days. So the fish eagles need to get in first. The fish gather in shoals around the hippos for safety. But the fish eagles aren't easily put off. The hungry pelicans move in closer. And a feeding frenzy begins. The hippos are already stressed, and this frenetic activity is too much for some of them. They become increasingly territorial and irritable. One bull loses his temper and overreacts. Crocodiles make a meal of the casualties.
20-month-old hippo Emma and rescued 6-month-old baby Molly. Hippos are known as the deadliest mammals in Africa.
I love you. I love you. Yeah.
But after escaping poachers at a young age, Emma has been hand-raised by Petronelle.
I love Emma dearly. She slept with me for almost 3 to 4 months on the bed, on a mattress, everywhere she could. She was very, very tiny when she came in. Come, I would love to take Emma out for a walk.
Molly came here more recently after her mother was shot. Alone and defenseless, she was attacked by wild bush pigs. These two orphans now have a very close bond.
Emma, kom, kom. Slide over. There we go. Okay, Molly must follow here. Molly is just attached to Emma. Emma is Molly's strong anchor. Molly's imprint is on Emma. Molly's imprint is not at all on any human. We're busy preparing an area for them near the river with much less human contact.
Petronelle wants them to get used to living away from her house in a remote area of the sanctuary,
Slowly, my girl.
as well as getting them familiar with other animals they might come across in the wild.
Kijk hierso, baby Molly. I would love to know what they're saying to each other and say, hey. Come, Emma, come. When I see these guys, they have one thing in common. They're all orphans.
In the wild, hippos will travel up to 6 miles to locate feeding grounds and will graze on grass for up to 5 hours a night. Despite their huge bulk, hippos can easily run as fast as the average human. To make sure they continue in their development, Petronelle has chosen the perfect place, and it's right on the edge of the wild reserve.
There's a little bit of water here, and a hippo loves water, and I would love Emma to spend more time here in summertime.
In a few months' time, it'll be the rainy season, and this dam will be flooded. Petronelle hopes it'll become a permanent home for Emma and Molly.
Emmertjie, let's see if there's bits of water here. Let's see.
Hippos can spend up to 16 hours a day submerged in water to keep their massive bodies cool in the hot African sun. And they can even hold their breath underwater for up to 5 minutes. This place is certainly getting their seal of approval.
But she is definitely in a happy place. For me to have her out here, is that not everything? I would love to one day just see her swimming all by herself, spending time in the water, and just be a hippo again. Nice. You're in a hurry to go back.
Emma and Molly are proof that creating strong bonds between orphans is a successful way to help rehabilitate wildlife.